Hello, everybody.
Hey.
There he goes, flexing it. Let me do my flex because I got my Python Suzy shirt on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Got a big one on the back, too.
Yes. But it's cold in here. I'm not standing up. I have my rat blanket on my lap.
Dude, I'm freezing here, too. That's why I got a Bear's hoodie.
Mr. Bear.
In my reptile room.
I haven't seen him in a while. I hadn't talked to really anybody.
He was just live Wednesday on Shane's YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Did an interview, so he's doing good.
That's good.
Who went live?
Oh, Bear got interviewed by Shane and the Harbins on Reptiles Unplugged on Wednesday.
So it was a heavy hognose hitters episode.
Yes.
Heavy hog nose.
Nice. How's everybody been? We haven't been here in a minute, have we?
Yeah,
it's not the three of us.
Not the three of us.
Jamie, you're all done moving?
Yes, all done moving. Sold my other house. So that's going great. And now we're in the process of building a greenhouse. So the foundation will get laid, I think, this week. And then it's got to set for a month, and then they'll come out and build my husband's greenhouse. So he's super excited.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And how do you like the new snake room? Is it bigger, same size, different? Like
it's bigger and yeah, it's bigger. I ended up buying a collection like the other. I bought a collection with 3 more racks, and they all fit in this room. And then it has a closet behind it. So in my old snake room, I had to share storage space in that room, and there's a really big closet on the other side of this that's big enough for all my shipping supplies and all my show material, and all that stuff can fit back there. So my snake room is legit just my snake room, and it's good. I love it. It's really awesome. This house is such a blessing. So yeah, we're excited.
Nice.
We got a nice rat shed in the back. All the ASFs are settling nicely, and there's more space there too. So
nice. No neighbors that are going to give you a hard time about ASFs?
No, there's neighbors, but nobody's that's going to complain about it too much. They're still a little nervous about the snakes, but it's fine. I'm like, you're not going to see them outside. It's totally fine.
Yeah. I don't tell my neighbors anything.
Yeah, kind of an open book.
Move the snakes in the middle of the night so nobody sees them.
Well, I got to take them outside to take pictures of them. Outside pictures are the best, so I figured. I'm going to be known as the snake lady. It's fine. I have people I'd rather them think that I'm a snake person and I'm having customers come visit than I'm selling drugs. So
yeah. That's right. I know that feeling. Well, I'm doing great. I got my animals this week.
Yeah.
From Travis. Look at
that thing.
That's beautiful.
Man, they are stunning in person.
Are those snakes Twidget's babies?
Say it again.
Are those did Twidget sire that clutch, the snake you got for me?
No. So this is Kane, the blackhead confusion male.
Nice.
So the second one might also have fire. So she might be blackhead fire lavender. Not that fire makes much of a difference in lavender, but it's there in case you want to use it or if you want to avoid it. So
those are great.
And I have pictures of the ones that come out of the eggs this week or shed this week. This is the Stranger project.
Yeah, that super pastel Stranger looks cool.
Yeah. I've got a guy locally who's already hit me up about it.
That one's cool looking. I'd be interested in see how it ages.
Yeah, those are pretty. Which ones are you keeping?
None.
None?
None. Unless this one right here, one of these really dark ones is a female, I'll probably keep it. So, but yeah, everybody's liking this one.
Yeah, that's super pretty.
Yeah. Be interested to see how that one turns out.
You haven't sexed him yet? Hey, no. Jamie.
No, I just put them in the rack today. They shed and everything, and I won't mess with them until they've had a couple meals.
Sweet.
Yeah, you're typically so little, it's hard for me to see anyway. It ain't going to do you no good. Or not me. And of course, back to my stuff I got shipped from Travis.
You
I
love
gotta
your
be-
bananas.
Well, I mean, you sent me that, so
I'm not getting any presents. What's happening here? That sucks.
if you want one of my snakes, I'll send you a present with it.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I seen that and I was like, of course he's gonna do that.
At least it wasn't in a hammock.
Yeah, right.
I got to admit, I did look for a yellow toy to put in there first. And then I thought, banana's safer. We'll just go with the banana.
Right. Oh my goodness.
Holly and I are friends, but I don't know if she gets something like that from me in the mail. I don't know how that'll alter the friendship. Holly, why are you so distant?
I'm just one of those people. I know, man. I worked at a truck stop for almost 12 years. I can handle anything.
Yeah, I guess you can.
All right. So this episode, we're doing an update for Mr. Travis. And we're going to start off with personal life update questions.
Personal life update questions.
Yep.
All right. What do we got here?
What's changed the most for you in the last year?
Just in the last year?
Mm-hmm.
Well, as far as personal stuff goes, two things. I left the Department of Energy after 25 years.
So you're retired?
Retired.
Congratulations.
Yeah, technically, but not. Took a job with a startup, and it's a lot of fun, but it's a lot of work. So that's probably been the biggest thing. I work fully at home now in my office, so that's nice. I mean, I travel. Be traveling here again in a couple of weeks. So I mean, that's the only downside, but it's not too bad. And so that's professionally. Personally, this past year has just been a lot on managing my health. You get older, and then things that didn't cause you problems before start to cause problems. You got to manage your aging issues and all that stuff. And so,
yeah,
you're 25 or something, like, you get have a health issue, you just go get it checked out. You don't think that it's going to be anything big, but when you're 50, it could be cancer. So you got to go get it checked out and figure everything out and all that stuff.
Yep.
I've been working a lot with I can't say working with the VA. I've been trying to get the VA
hiding with
me, because I never went and filed any of my disability stuff before. So my wife, so the last year, it's around the year or so, maybe a little bit more, she's getting real frustrated with me because I can't hear anything she says. So she's like, you got to go get your hearing checked. Go get your hearing checked. So you can go get all the other stuff checked that you have wrong with you from the service. So went and got my hearing checked. Turns out I need like these massively expensive hearing aids. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to pay for them. I want to get the VA to pay for them. Well, VA doesn't want to pay for them. So we're going back and forth. In the meantime, I still can't hear anything my wife says. I personally don't see that as a big issue. She does.
I was going to say, you may think that's a blessing.
Yeah, no, I told the doctor when she said I needed these hearing aids. I said, I don't need to hear my wife that bad. I said, if she really wants to talk to me, she'll come and talk to me.
Joanne learned sign language.
Yeah, yes. And that didn't go that well.
You just need to know the one of them, and you know which finger that is.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And then we moved, which we talked about previously, and we just we weren't planning on it. I just finished the snake room in the other house, and my daughter and her husband bought a house here near historic downtown Idaho Falls, as historic as it can be, I guess. And then we just got to looking like, well, what if we moved down there? And we just found a house immediately and bought it. And then we just, next thing you know, we're moving, starting over with a snake room from square one. So still working on that. All this behind me will be enclosures. Everything in front of me is racks. So, and it's a lot bigger. I would have already outgrown the other one.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it in a nutshell. Everything else is good. The kids are growing and doing their thing, and the wife is, she's working part-time as a healthcare provider. So yeah, we're just starting to get settled back into things and get into a groove after moving and new job and all that stuff. So yeah.
What's something people online don't see behind the screen? Scenes. Yeah, scenes.
Man, there's so many ways I could go with that one.
Keep it clean.
That's a good question, because I'm not exactly sure what they do see as far as their perceptions.
Well, I know you're a hard worker. Like everything.
Yeah, I try to.
Everything you do, you gotta put 100% into.
Yeah, you gotta take care of the kids and the wife, and make sure everybody's taken care of. Well, let's see. I'm an engineer. Worked with nuclear weapons for most of my career. Well, for just about all my career. So a lot of weapons research, nuclear fusion. A lot of people. I mean, it sounds really cool. It's cool, but you do it all the time, and it's not. It's just like anything else, right? Mm-hmm. Let's see what else. Interesting facts. I've been out to the Nevada test site quite a few times. That's coming up a lot lately.
Yeah, right? I sure have.
Right, those little green men out there.
Yeah.
See, I don't know. I could probably come up with some other things, but those are off the top of my head what I can think of. People might not see or think of behind the scenes, I guess.
Have your goals changed since you first started breeding?
Yeah, actually quite a bit. I would say my whole business model has changed. Yeah. So initially, I was getting into ball pythons, obviously. I went to Tinley in 25 and saw that everybody had ball pythons. Like 80%, 80 or so percent of everybody there was selling ball pythons. And I started thinking to myself that I had to differentiate in some way, or I would just get lost in the sauce. So I thought to myself, well, I could be really unique with marketing. Oh yeah, I suck at marketing. Not that great with people. So, okay, well, then I could have some sort of unique flair with the snakes or something like that, unique packaging or whatever to differentiate. And I thought, well, that's not enough. I thought, well, I need some different business models, because typically you buy a ball python and it starts to depreciate, once you buy it. So you're constantly chasing the uniqueness, right? And kind of trying to re-up that with new combos. So it's a constant state of turnover. And the more I thought about it, the more I thought about racks upon racks upon racks to hit the odds, and lots of shipments out and things like that. And these are things that they don't resonate with me. I don't want to, Jamie says she's got 100 and something snakes. I don't want 100 and something snakes.
Right.
You got a lot of snakes, Holly. I'm not sure how many you've got. To me, that means I'm spending my time cleaning tubs and, doing all of the chores, not doing, a lot of the interacting with the snakes. I start to feel better. It's like, man, I haven't picked you up in a week, and so I started learning a lot about what I like as a person and what I want to do as a business. And so I've drifted into species that don't really have morphs, but are still higher value just inherently on their own, so that I can keep a set of them. I can keep a 2.4 for years and years and make, 3, 4, 5 clutches a year from that subset of adults, and just enjoy them. And so I've kind of, as we talked about before, I've kind of tiered everything, in that direction. I started with the Angolans, which are, $800 to $1,200 ish a snake. They grow slow. Fell in love with those guys. They're super awesome snakes. If you don't have them, you're missing out. Moved up a little with the Sanzinia. Oh, congratulations, Jamie.
Yeah, congratulations. That's awesome.
Sweet. Yeah, that's a big one. That's really big. moved into the Sanzinia, which is a higher price point, very, very easy to keep, a little bit harder to breed. So they'll stay somewhat unique. There seems to be interest in them, talking to the guys that breed them, they sell their clutches every year. So, and then moved, higher tier to the dwarf perms. Obviously love the hybrids, so that's always going to be a side project, is making some cool hybrids for sure. And then, would not really expected to do this now, but we got into the Boids pythons. Mm-hmm. And so that was always going to be kind of the end state. But, I'm sitting there watching TV, and all I'm doing is watching snake shows and nerds on TV, and he's got his Boids python. And, Joanna walks into the room and she's like, "Ooh, what is that?" I'm like, "That's a Boids python." She's like, "That's beautiful." And now my wife has been massively supportive of this whole thing, but not once have I ever seen her or heard her get enamored by a snake. And she doesn't come into the snake room. They're just not her thing, but she's super supportive. She does all kinds of other stuff for me outside of anything in the snake room. She sees this Boids python and she's all like, "Wow, that is gorgeous." She's like, "Can we get those?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure. They're spendy. They're really expensive." And I told her how much they were, and she kind of went, "Oh," and walked away. I didn't hear anything about it for, weeks and weeks. And then I want to say somehow it came up. There was a pair on Morph Market that were discounted. And she goes, "Ooh, can we get those? They're at a discount." And I was like, "Well, if we do that, they're really expensive. You got to keep them super humid. You got to keep them very cool. It's really, really difficult to breed them." She's like, "But we could figure it out, right?" I was like, "Yeah, I think we probably could." She's like, "I think we should get them." I'm like, "Really?" She's like, "Yeah, I think we should." I'm thinking in my head, why couldn't these be $25 ball pythons that she's talking about? Yeah. Let alone a Boids python. And so I said, "Okay, are you going to be like invested in these? Like you want to interact with them?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, 100%. So we get the snakes and she's in love. She's holding that damn snake, one of them every night.
Mm-hmm. That's nice.
When she gets done watering her plants and everything, and she's like, can we take out a snake?" I was like, "Of course, go for it." She's like, "Well, you start and then I'll finish." Because she's not used to holding the snakes and stuff, right? So, but we're getting there. And so we've been holding them and everything, and the female's been in shed, so we just kind of left her alone. But yeah, that's the craziest purchase we've made to date in this whole entire hobby. So
that's awesome.
We'll see if we can do something with it. I think we can. I think it'll be fun. It's a fun challenge. Right. We're going to go in a completely separate room. They'll never be in here in the snake room. So the front end of the house sits under a bunch of big trees, and it's always cold in that room. So even in the middle of the summer, it's like mid-60s in that room. So getting that room or their closures to low 70s is really, really perfect with a hot spot for them.
Oh, good.
So yeah, Holly's definitely putting me on my toes with these questions. I'm sweating over here. So I thought this was just going to be free-form, smart-ass comments the whole time, but no, she's asking me. It's been the hardest part mentally lately.
Yep. What's been the hardest part mentally lately?
The hardest part mentally lately is losing my mind. That's the hardest part.
Did you ever have one?
I did, but it's been going downhill a lot. So yeah, I mean, seriously though, I'm going and getting some brain scans and stuff done. Yeah, I'm losing my mind left and right here. So that's kind of literally, that's the hardest part mentally. So
what keeps you motivated when burnout hits?
When burnout hits, I don't feel like I've hit a burnout because I've been, whether I did this on purpose or not, I feel like I've been very careful not to get over my skis on anything. I do feel a little overwhelmed, like right after we moved, and I'm buying all these enclosures to redo the snake room and everything, taking care of the snakes and also, working full time. that Todd Danielson?
Yeah. Welcome,
First
Todd.
year. Sweet. Thanks for stopping by.
Jamie,
you
I
come
hear
again.
you now.
Menopause. I should have. Yeah. All right. So I should have included that one also, but obviously not for me.
Oh, she's gonna get you.
No, it's been tough for her. I mean, if you guys know, you know. I don't need to say anything about it.
You don't have to say a thing.
It's the shits for sure. So what keeps me motivated when burnout hits?
Yes.
Just thinking about the future, thinking about pairings, thinking about clutches, thinking about just, overcoming challenges and figuring things out that other people haven't figured out yet, like especially with the Boids or with the hybrids, upping the odds and getting clutches from the hybrid pairings, and I love the hybrids. I think they're awesome. So
yeah,
that's always going to be a decent sized side project for me. So yeah, thinking about the future. I think it's fun.
Well, here's the next section is business questions. We're going to pick his brain all evening, y'all. What's the biggest challenge running your business today?
It's time. That's part of the reason why I don't want to have 150 snakes or something to that effect.
Right.
And then, raise all the rats and take care of the rats for those snakes.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I would say that's the underlying motivator for me changing my whole business model and going with fewer number of snakes that are higher value so that I can have more time to goof off with them, to build enclosures and to have that kind of fun. It's never really appealed to me to be the big volume, to have, like Rothy, I don't know how he does it. He's got 300 and something snakes and he takes care of rats for all those snakes. And I know it's a whole family thing and, he's got an awesome family for helping, but damn, works full time and he's in the snake room or the rat room till 2 a.m. For me, that takes the fun out of it completely.
Phil has a really good point here. So many people are dropping off from the hobby. The effort versus rewards are killing interest. Yeah. They really are.
Yeah. Yes. And I would say a lot of people don't, they've never run a business before and they get into this. Maybe some of the younger folks, they see the Instagrams and they see, all the expensive snakes on Morph Market and they think, I can do this. I can be up and doing this in no time. It takes a long time. I mean, you got to get through multiple years of staying in the red, I'd say at a minimum.
Well, and it takes discipline to know where you're comfortable at, where your comfort level is. So like, I don't work a full-time job. This is my job. And so I have, that's why I can have like 100 plus snakes and take care of the rodents and still have dinner on the table. So it really is important to not overextend yourself and have the discipline to tell yourself no. And that will stop a lot of people from overextension. I think it's overextension that's hurting things too.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. And that's my motivation too, is I don't want to overextend myself because you get to the burnout and then none of it's fun.
I love it. Phil is so funny.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely that. I mean, that's the key to not getting burnout is knowing what your limits are and just understanding what you like and what you don't like and tailoring your business to suit your own personality.
Oh yeah, and just also I did a little video earlier this week and I posted it where not every breeder needs to be a business. You can just be a hobby and have fun and have 5 clutches and still be relevant in the community. There's a big push. A lot of people talk about businesses because a lot of people want to run it, but you don't need to run a business. So
yeah,
that's a good point. Yeah, I think like when I first got into ball python specifically, I mean that's whether it's intentional or not, that's the push.
Yeah.
How do you get to full time?
Yeah.
How many clutches, So yeah, I mean that you got to divorce yourself from that mentality. Some people thrive on that. Some people are good with, putting in the long hours and having a lot of snakes and doing a lot of turnover because they want to get to that that genetic goal. And that's, if that works for them, that's great. They got the time to do it. So
I just like to do the work. I don't have a goal. I'm one of those weirdo that just is a taskmaster.
well, you're already so that's a good point that you make there, because you're already at your goal.
Yeah.
You're having fun, right? That your goal is to have fun, to have satisfaction out of the process. Like I would imagine you don't care if you sell 2 clutches or 20 clutches. You don't really care if you're selling them for top dollar or
no.
Or
I guess
what.
Yeah, my goal is to educate more people about reptiles. So I even had a daycare reach out to me and ask me if I could come and do one of my educational shows at their daycare facility. So I reached my goal. Thanks, Travis.
Yeah. So so there you go. You're already there. Yeah, you got to love what you do in order to get through the tough times.
Oh yeah.
Have you changed how you market
your animals? So you don't really push to market your animals yet, but once you get to that point, do you know what you're going to be using to market your animals?
So this might be one of my biggest challenges, is figuring that out, because in my head, I'm like, this is going to look great. And then I will put it together and I'm like, no, this is terrible. This is terrible. So I've got to figure out a marketing technique or marketing process that works for me. That'll be successful. So I haven't figured that out yet. I have a little bit of time. I'd like to say I'm taking notes. I think I'm taking notes, but every time somebody does something really obvious, I'm like, oh, duh. Yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
Like I came to the conclusion a long time ago, the short videos were really popular. How many short videos do you see me do?
As many as I do.
None. I just realized that the other day. I watched somebody. I was like, "Oh, that's right."
They're so easy. And then now YouTube has an AI thing and it edits for you and everything. It's easy. There's no excuse.
Yeah. So I got to do that. I want to get on the YouTube more and do some videos on some how-tos and just some kind of funny, entertaining, 5-minute, 7-minute skits, kind of things like that. Things that I think are fun.
Yeah, with you having species that are not well known, like ball pythons or corn snakes, like the more popular ones, you could even just do 5 minutes and introducing facts about these animals and just talk about the animals themselves. Because I don't know a lot of the animals that you keep, and do more educational stuff. That'd be neat.
Yeah. And I think for me, when it comes to marketing, like, I haven't fully made this decision yet, but when I think about doing shows, I think about risk versus reward. And then I know this is different for everybody. And you guys, maybe you don't know this about me, but I'm introverted. If I can avoid people, I will. So shows do not appeal to me for that respect. And then also biosecurity, and then just the logistics of safely getting your snakes from A to B. And so right now that doesn't appeal to me. So my thought process is, how can I basically bring the show to people online, right? Palm Street is a good example. I mean, a lot of people are doing Palm Street now.
Yeah.
Don't know if my snakes specifically, if I want to get a price point for them, would do well on Palm Street. Not sure, but I mean, you can look at some plants that are going on Palm Street for thousands and thousands of dollars. So, there is an example there. So whether reptiles can fit in that or not, I don't know. So, it might be something like that. It might be some sort of I hate to call it a live auction, but a live presentation, or maybe I set all my show stuff up here and I put on a helmet and I've got a cigar and do some stupid shit and, sell some snakes, and maybe 80% of the people that tune in, which would be 5 people, are there just for the entertainment, and then the other few people, maybe they buy a snake, who knows?
Right.
Well, I think Adam from Proper Royal was just going live and turning the camera on while he was cleaning some of his tubs, and just was talking and answering questions and building a following on there. So you don't have to do an auction to go live.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. It's just, for me, I don't talk that much.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta have somebody to talk with you. So
that'd be fine.
So I do videos, and none of you see them, obviously. Well, I do videos and I'm trying to talk and stuff, and then I realize I'm just staring at the camera. And I go back and replay it, and it's like I've lost a brain cell or two. Yeah. Yeah. So
all right, next question. What's the smartest investment you've made? And it doesn't have to be a snake, but something to do with your reptile keeping or whatever.
Oh, okay. Reptile keeping. Well, I would say the smartest investment I've made, which has helped with the reptile keeping, is Bitcoin. I've been in Bitcoin. My wife and I have been in Bitcoin for quite a while, and it's fundamentally changed our lives. We used it to buy this house. We've used it to be financially, essentially, almost pretty much independent. And that opens the door for a lot of other things that you wouldn't normally, like snakes, like just going and buying a pair of Boids pythons.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have a lot of overhead anymore. So that's been like the biggest investment. I would say that's the smartest investment I've ever made. 100%. And I would do it 100 times over that. Yeah, it's another smart guy right there. I mean, once you understand the stock to flow model, the rest is history. You just got to be patient and hodl, right? Hold on for dear life is what it stands for. As far as like snakes specifically, that's TBD because everything is still pretty new. Nothing is paid out yet. I've put a lot of money into the dwarf Burmese pythons, the Boids now, the Angolans, and these are all snakes that like you can't import, like what Watts Minor said. Lasiac, you can't import any more dwarf Burmese pythons. So they're always going to be scarce unless somebody figures out how to get, 30 egg clutches 10 times a year for the next 5 years. Turn snakes into Bitcoin. So that's a very smart transfer of stored value. And then, the Angolans, you can import them from other breeders. You can't import them from the countries of origin. And so they're more difficult to obtain and they take some longer to grow, right? So they're more scarce. I think that they really make up for their perceived drabness and personality. They're super outgoing snakes and very, very interactive. And so yeah, so I just kind of focused on snakes that aren't easily makeable or easily obtainable.
Okay, that makes sense. So what's the dumbest purchase you've made in reptiles?
Well, they could all fit under that.
I was going to say, he's going to say ball pythons. I know he is.
I mean, I don't regret any of the ball pythons that I purchased, and I don't regret. I'm going to move forward with the one project that I like. But if I had to pick one, I mean, they're the snakes that depreciate. If you want to look at it from a business perspective, they're sweet. Generally speaking, I love there's fat, chunky bodies. Love the head structure. Mm-hmm. Very, very visually appealing snakes. So I'll always have them. But if I had to like rank my investments today, just based on, economic or financial criteria, yeah, the ball pythons would be the most risky I wouldn't call them the dumbest, but they're the ones that require the most input for an output. Always. If it's pure, that's the hard part is making sure it's pure.
Let's go here.
So that could be the Boids, also the dumbest one. Hit me up in 5 years.
Yeah. We're going to move on to fun, entertaining questions.
Okay.
What is the weirdest customer message you've ever gotten?
So I don't know if this would be a customer message, but when I first got on Instagram, there were quite a few gentlemen that did not do their due diligence in determining that I was actually not a woman before they messaged me. So I did get some interesting messages at first. Hey, I love your logo. Is that you on your logo? It's pretty hot. No, I'm a 49-year-old dude. Oh, come on. Are you really? Show me a picture. Okay. Here you go. No response.
Okay, that's better than I thought it was going to be. That's awesome.
So yeah.
Okay. Next question. Oh, you clicked on that, didn't you?
I had to. He said Bitcoin. Yeah, borrow against your Bitcoin. Smart guy right there. What's the most ridiculous? Oh, geez. I don't even know if I want to talk about this. So that is another reason why
yeah, we want to hear the story.
that's another reason why I am drifting towards some of the other species. I think that there's some competitiveness in the ball python community that doesn't bring out the best in people. And so, yeah, I don't know if I won't go into details on that one, but as you guys already know, I came into this with a really, what I think, an open mind, positive attitude. And I got bitch slapped pretty hard right in year one. And I was pretty shocked at like some of the things that happened to me that in my mind, I'm trying to avoid at all costs. But it just shows up. And some things that happened to other people that I witnessed just from a bystander perspective that I thought were pretty unfortunate. Mm-hmm. And I really didn't like some of that stuff. You know, that represented people, I would say, knowing they were at their worst and not really caring.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, and you don't ever know the whole story, you know, and what's going on in somebody's life.
Yeah.
You know, you get a guy that, okay, he shipped a snake. It's not in the greatest shape. You know, the whole community goes after him, but you don't know that the guy's wife's in the hospital on her deathbed. They don't have money for rent. Like everything's falling apart around him. Lucky he shipped anything out at all. You know, nobody seemed to like think about that aspect of things. Mm-hmm. So, you know, and that individual, you know, has since gotten out completely and is much happier for it. But yeah, that was a situation that just, I couldn't believe the way people responded to something. And I hate to say that it's benign, but in the grand scheme of things, there are bigger problems in life.
Yeah.
You know, and all somebody had to do was just talk to him for a minute, find out what was going on, you know, and I don't condone the condition of the snake, but that really got me. And so that I really pulled back at that point and just kind of pulled out all the Patreons. I just kind of pulled way back and just decided I'm going to just kind of hang out, you know, on the outskirts. So, yeah, you know, and that's just people in general. You know, I can't throw shade just on the ball python community. It's, you know, there's a reason why we've got torches and pitchforks, right? I mean, that's been going on for a long time.
Yep.
So,
well, your next question, what's a reptile hot take that would make people mad? And I know this is the answer to this one, I think.
You know the answer, you know, I don't even know the answer to that. I mean, I would say
the hybrids.
Oh, yeah, the hybrids. Yeah, so I do get a little bit of hate from that part. Why would you ruin an Angolan python with a ball python? Yeah, that doesn't really bother me because it really comes from, I think, an emotional knee-jerk reaction. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, the hybrids are still somewhat controversial, but they're growing on people. Yep. You know, you got Matt Miller at Eternal Morphs. You know, he really just went for it with his very first clutch. He made burn balls. You know, I think he got 3 clutches of burn balls, like his very first year. Like he bought some snakes, and a few months later, you know, he had some eggs. So, but yeah, related to that, I get a lot of people that send me messages about hybrids that would never condone them publicly. Oh man, the snakes are so awesome. I wish I could get one. Well, why can't you get one? I had one individual say, well, it doesn't go with my brand.
Yep.
Okay. That's fine. That doesn't mean you can't get one and just keep it as a pet. You don't have to take pictures of it.
Right.
You know? So
that's right, Phil. All right.
Oh, geez. So Beelzebub, aptly named, has the worst attitude. She
That's a new
is
one.
what's that?
So that's a new one. It used to be a different snake.
Yeah, yep, it sure did. So the very first bad attitude snake I had was Bitchy Betty.
Yep.
She turned around and is quite sweet now. So, but I told her that I'm keeping the name because it's a memento at this point. And then came just the bitch, which is this blackhead Enchi super OD. She had clown. I think she's had clown. The worst. Wouldn't eat for anything. As soon as you touch the tub, she's striking at you. She's hissing. She's doing all the things. And then that's the one where Joanne said, well, she's just lonely and depressed. So you should hold her. I'm like, you realize that goes against everything everybody says to do. She's like, I don't care what everybody says. I know she's lonely. Okay. So I took her and put her in a pillowcase and put her in my lap, or put her in a t-shirt, put her in my lap when I worked. I literally did it for, 3 months,
Mm-hmm.
3 or 4 months, whenever I had the opportunity to. And now she's fine.
Yeah.
She still only eats a black and white mouse every other Thursday when the moon is full. But she's healthy. She's got good body composition, and I can pick her up now, and she's not trying to bite my head off. But Beelzebub, the 50%, one of my 50% dwarf perms, is horrible. Is absolutely horrible. She will shit on me, piss on me, strike at me, vibrates her tail. I take her out slow. We do the stare down, get her to stop hissing, and I go to pick her up, and she hisses and strikes again. She will coil my arm and then try to strike at my face.
Wow.
So I have to hold her out like this, and I can't let go of her because she's got me. Right? And so I just have this snake on my arm, and it's just doing this. And I just have to kind of go like this. And, it's a 45 minutes.
I'm afraid she doesn't get any bigger.
See you later, Phil. Have a good one.
Yeah, it's a 45-minute fiasco whenever I pick her up, because then I got to take my arm and I got to set it in the tub and wait for her to calm down and then slither off it. So
Okay. So future plans. Any dream projects you haven't started yet?
So it took me a while to figure out my recessives. I knew pretty much right off the bat that for color, I really liked the combination of yellow belly, orange dream, and red stripe together. The pattern as well. I really dig what just those 3 genes do together. When you add confusion and leopard to that, to me, that's like I would make those snakes all day. I think that those 5 incomplete dominants are just the shit. But I knew, I need to add a recessive, and I just couldn't wrap my head around what I liked until I came across tri-stripe. And so I pretty quickly settled on tri-stripe, because tri-stripe and the labyrinth gene and the berms, I just love it. Absolutely love it. And I love what tri-stripe does with leopard, and what it does with confusion, and what it does with spot nose. So yeah, so tri-stripe's my thing. Definitely going to have the red stripe, yellow belly, orange dream trifecta mixed in with that. I've got monarchs, so I'm going to be working tri-stripe into monarch. I want to make blackhead monarch tri-stripes. I think that'll look pretty cool. So, and then the lavenders, I'll make some lavender tri-stripes. So that's pretty much it for me. That's my ball python project right there. So,
Very good.
So I'm excited about that. But I'm going to try to do it with rotating out as few snakes as possible, which doesn't make sense. So,
is there anything people should watch out for coming soon?
Watch out for coming soon.
Clutches?
I've got a hybrid, but potentially I'll have a hybrid clutch on the ground this fall. And so that's an OD dreamsicle Angolan Python. So I'll be curious to see what OD does in that mix.
Yeah.
I am working, so I have a banana hybrid Royal Angolan Angry Ball. And so yep. And it's beautiful, right? It looks like a lavender with a lot of green and yellow in it. No colubrids for me. I'm trying to avoid them. I really do like the king rat snakes and the indigo snakes. So I have to set a limit somewhere. I am going to be picking up super dwarf retics at some point, the Karumpa locality. I like the breeding for locality and just keeping that pure.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, I'm not chasing genes, right? I can breed the best of the best. And my family bred dogs when I was a kid, so it's more aligned with with dog breeding. It's finding the best traits in the individuals and putting them together, and not necessarily the morphological variation. So yeah, so you can watch out for that. The tri-stripe male is also going to my other Royal Angolan Angry Ball. So I'll eventually, if things work out, have some sort of a banana tri-stripe hybrid, maybe 15 years from now, 3 generations. So, be patient.
There we go.
Dwarf berms, hopefully in the next year or two. I need to, really looking for another male. We're looking for a male. I've got 3 pure Pragashy females, no males anywhere to be found. So hopefully Todd Danielson knows somebody. So we'll see.
Right.
Call me.
Okay, some deeper questions.
Uh-oh.
What part of this industry do people fake the most?
What part of this industry do people fake the most? I think they fake like everything's okay. Like everything's great. That's kind of what I think. Because they don't want to call anybody out. They don't want to hold anybody accountable because they're afraid that there's going to be, repercussions.
Yeah.
Right? Especially if they're smaller, newer breeder.
Mm-hmm.
There are stories of big breeders, kind of treating the smaller breeders like crap, and the smaller breeders what are they going to do about it?
Right.
They complain about it, and the larger breeder with a huge following is going to say they're full of crap.
Yep.
So, I see a lot of people, they're just like, I'm just not going to say anything. I'm just going to pretend it didn't happen.
Right.
So.
Yep. What's something you wish people understood about you?
I have no clue.
What you're
I don't
doing.
understand people. So I would say maybe that. Just understand that I don't understand people and that I don't frost the cupcake at all.
I think people think with you're very blunt. I'm a very blunt person, and some people may take anything I say as I'm trying to be mean or something. I'm like, I'm not mean. I'm just to the point.
Yeah, that's exactly how I am. My wife always tells me, you got to frost the cupcake more. And I was like, I don't know how to frost the cupcake. I literally don't. How do I say it in the nice way and, do the whole, maybe we ought to, I could all just twist it up and end up saying, this is stupid. You should really probably do it this way to work better.
I was always told you draw more, bees with honey or something like that.
Yeah, I try. It's just, even with the kids, like my older set of kids, my daughter, and I try to, you can't be blunt with your daughter. You do have to frost the cupcake.
Yeah.
But I just end up being like, look, sweetie, the best way, what you really need to do here is you gotta just fuck it, let the bitch go. Just forget about her. Okay. Mm-hmm. That's what you got to do. Just forget, my wife's like, you can't say it like that. It's like, I don't know how else to say it. You got to quit being friends with her. She's an asshole. Like, move on to somebody else.
Oh, that's funny. And this is the last question I have for you. Do you think social media helps or hurts reptile keeping?
Oh, I would say it's a net positive, but it definitely has its drawbacks.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like with anything else, it's not reptile keeping specific, right? It's any industry. I mean, you get new guy, say young kid in his 20s, loves snakes, wants to get into this. There's a good chance he'll get sucked in and he'll see all the good stuff and he won't see the bad stuff, you know, and there's people out there that put up realistic stuff and, you know, they show you the bad clutches and they talked about the missed odds and the financial drain and stuff like that. But majority of it is, I mean, we're all like that. We don't want to put up the ugly stuff, right? We want to put up the stuff we're proud of and that we're happy about. We don't necessarily want to put up the things that are upsetting to talk about or to look at. So yeah.
I'm still against people doing live feedings or feeding in general and put it out there, because we know what it is. We know what to do. We raise them, we feed our animals and stuff, but there's still so much negative behind it and everything. Personally, it doesn't bother me to watch it, but when you have all this stuff with USARK and everything they have to go and deal with, it's just better not to do it.
Yeah, I can definitely see that point, you know, and I do enjoy watching them, and because it's satisfying when your snake eats.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's like you're doing something right. The snake's happy, your husbandry's good, the snake's gonna live another couple weeks. Yay, you know. So I get that. But yeah, at the same point, you know, there's a lot of people that, you know, why would you do that when you can feed them Reptilinks? What the hell are Reptilinks made out of, by the way?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I bet those rats had it worse than the rat that's in the snake's coil right now.
Right.
I bet they just dropped that guy in a grinder, you know, alive in China somewhere and gooed him into a casing.
China somewhere. Oh my goodness. Jamie, do you have any awesome questions for Mr. Travis?
Nope. Just congratulations on the move. I like seeing your enclosures behind you. Those are cool. And it's been really great being able to podcast with you. So just really grateful to get to know you and put your stuff out more, because I don't know half the snakes that you have. So start posting pictures.
Just take pictures or short videos and send them to me. I'll do something for you so you can put it out there.
You'll put a monkey in each one. What are you talking about?
Well, that'll be the thing. You gotta find it. So it'll be like, where's Waldo?
Thank you, Jamie.
Thanks, Jamie. Yeah, I mean, with the move and all the stuff, because we're remodeling the basement too, so it's a total drain, and it's hard for me just to snap a picture. I mean, I did a short video the other day where I showed everybody my labels on my cages, and I had a bunch of smartasses that know I use Husbandry Pro telling me to use Husbandry Pro.
And I was
I am doing that, but you know how long it takes? It's like 8 steps from my computer to the rack, and I have ADHD. You want to tell me that I'm going to not forget something between then and here and there? Oh yeah, I'm going to forget, and I'm going to walk back over there and be like, oh yeah, walk back over here and forget again. Walk right the fuck back over there. Yeah. So
laptop, cell phone, iPad.
Yeah.
All of that will reach. All you have to do is take you a little rolly chair, sit down in front of it, and start typing it in.
Yeah,
or your amazing wife could help you with that.
My amazing wife is in the middle of watering all of her plants that she got from wherever, in Indonesia or wherever. So now that's been fun, by the way, is watching her just be so excited. Yeah, scan the label. Well, see, I got to print the label, Todd. There's a lot that goes in front of that. And before I print the label, I got to make sure everything's updated in Husbandry Pro. So,
sounds like you need a list.
You know, he has friends that would help him do it. We just got to get together and sit down and talk him through the process.
Oh, the Husbandry Pro Next is coming out, and then it's going to be all different.
I know. I'm excited for that.
I'm very excited for that. I'm very excited.
Yeah. Husbandry Pro just started working on my cell phone, by the way. You guys remember that? when
Yeah.
I couldn't get Husbandry Pro to work on my cell phone. My wife could.
Is that a Samsung?
No, it's an old iPhone.
How old?
It's I think it's a 14, iPhone
Time for an
14. It's 2021. So got it before I moved out here, just before. So the kids' stickers on it.
Oh
Cute.
yeah, of course.
Yeah, the other cool thing is I'll get on my phone and I'll go to post a picture and then I'll see all of these like 30 or 40 new pictures in my Rolodex of little people.
Cute. Those are the best. Wait till
Right.
they figure out how to make video. It's the best.
So Violet is like, she's starting to do like I don't think she knows what she's doing, but like these little quick time movies where she just takes the picture over and over and over. And like, you see her going like this. Of course, it ends up with like 80 pictures of her feet,
Cute.
sitting in the chair. I kept them all though. They're all still on there because it's just, it's, how it is. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
So.
All right, guys. Well, I think we're done with this show today. I'm going to go start painting in the nursery again, try to get it knocked out.
Good job,
And
Grandma.
next week, we're going to be on Cold Blooded After Dark. Tuesday at what time?
Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern.
And don't forget, if you'll look down in the comments, Husbandry Pro, there's a promo code on there for them. And there's some good stuff. Go read it. I can't think. Thank you, Todd. Y'all have a great week, and we'll see you later.